How's it going, you guys? Welcome back to another edition of the podcast. This is Dad's Podcast Project. And in today's episode, I wanted to talk about a touchy subject. It is in regards to a piece of child's sleeping equipment, more specifically the Fisher-Price Rock and Play. This had come up on the news. There has been tragedy related to this product, and it's actually something that my wife and I had owned and had used. So it sort of comes as a little bit of an eye-opener after the fact. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, just to preface this entire episode right out the gate, I'm not here to judge or to tell anyone listening how to parent, how to do what it is that they do. You guys know best. You guys do what it is that you're doing, and this is just my story. This is just my experience that I'm sharing. And so earlier this evening, my coworker, he's an elderly gentleman, he decided to give me a ring, and he asked me right away, hey, do you have one of those rock and plays? And I don't know the specific names of each of these pieces of, children equipment. And so I was kind of like, a rock and play? I have no idea what that is. I don't think so. And he then broke into the story about how he was watching the news, and a story had come up about infant-related deaths in relation to this rock and play that is made by Fisher-Price. So after we hung up and just our short little conversation, I decided to hop onto YouTube and look for myself into what this product is. And lo and behold, this is actually something that my wife and I owned. Like we had this, and our son slept in this thing. And I didn't know that was the exact name of this product. I just referred to it as the monkey chair because it had a little monkey in it, and we put our son in there, and that was that. He had acid reflux and would cough up milk from time to time. So this chair was almost a saving grace for us because we were able to, when he would nap, have him napping at a bit of an incline. Now, full disclosure, my wife and I, we are on edge parents. Like, maybe my wife more so than myself, but we did not want to leave our son alone in a bassinet, even in his pack and play, or even in his crib. Still to this day, my wife checks on him periodically just to make sure he's breathing, because he was our firstborn. We were very, very nervous parents going right into it. So we never really left him alone when he was sleeping. Only until now that he's sleeping in his bed, do I feel comfortable with him napping. And we would go back and forth over whether or not he should have a pillow or he was ready for a pillow. So again, I'm not trying to point out anything like causes or preventative measures. It's just simply expressing my own experience and my own sort of just what it is that we went through with this. And so my wife, she was just, even myself, we knew that once our son was able to roll, that everything was going to be different. He needed to have just neck strength for keeping his head up. If he could roll onto his stomach, he needed to be able to roll back. So those were a lot of sleepless nights for my wife more so, because she was afraid he would roll over in his sleep and then not be able to roll back. So she would be up pretty quite often. And as soon as he was able to roll or showing signs of being interested in challenging himself to roll, that chair was done. We no longer used it. We kept it because we figured we would use it for our daughter. We didn't know she was going to be a daughter at the time. We just knew we wanted to save it for baby number two. And so we sort of kept it on the side as our son got bigger and he was able to sit in chairs on his own and do all these other things. This monkey chair became kind of like a thing he would hop into from time to time, and we would reminisce on how he was just so small at one point, and now he just couldn't even fit in it altogether. It's just he had grown so much over the years. So it's a real shocker when you hear a story like this, because when it comes to purchasing these products, when it comes to purchasing pack and plays, cribs, mattresses, sheets for mattresses, pillows, all of these things that add just different, diverse scenarios, or what would the term be? Just sort of a different environment for your child when they're sleeping. It just it invites a heightened probability of things that as a parent you don't want. And it's really hard when a lot of these products are kind of geared and marketed as in your child is ready for this. We've tested this. We've done the research, and you guys should be able to purchase this. So when the story comes out that there has been 32 recorded deaths related to this product, it comes as a shock, because as parents we purchase these things kind of trusting that they're going to work as intended, that they're not going to do harm. Now, there is a group, I believe it's trying to look it up now. What is it? I just lost it. But there's a group that is urging Fisher Price to recall this product. They're strongly urging, actually. And, as parents, I'm sure they who have experienced this tragedy themselves firsthand, I'm pretty sure they would want no one else to own one of these products. Now, with that said, Fisher Price, in their own statement, they said that they have warned consumers to stop using the product when infants can roll over, which for most babies is around 3 months. As a parent, if you're new to parenting, you're going to find out that these things that you buy are sort of just band-aids. They're not intended for the long term. You're going to go through a lot of things really quickly, and this is one of them. Because as soon as you get your baby home, our son was born premature. He was too small for one of these things. So we were talking like maybe month 2 or creeping into month 3 that we started using this with him. And after that, it was done. So we had a product that we didn't really get. I don't want to say we didn't get our money's worth, but we didn't really use it as long as we may have intended to or thought we would have been able to use it. So just sort of things like that, I've always tried to keep in the back of my mind whenever purchasing things is like, how long are we really going to be using this? And is this really a necessity? Fortunately, we had it. And with acid reflux, it was definitely very helpful for us. But still, it's such a spooky thing to have to hear something like this. And fortunately for myself to have, a great coworker who's watching the news and reaching out to me, and one of my other coworkers were both new fathers second time around. So we both have had daughters recently. And there's a third coworker who is trying to get a hold of as well. So just all three of us dads. Here's a grandfather trying to reach out to, his coworkers and keep them informed. So if anything, if this podcast, if this episode helps to inform anyone else, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen it on the news anyways, or you've read the articles, or you've done your research before buying some of these products. But again, they're being urged to recall this. It doesn't really look like it's being recalled as of yet, only because I took a look on Target.com and the product is still available. So who knows? If they've already warned that at 3 months, that's the cutoff, stop using it. It's kind of like it's in there, I guess, whether it's fine print on the box or plastered front and center, they've said it. So using it after 3 months, kind of, not to step on any toes here, but it's kind of just, you've been told 3 months is the cutoff. If it happens before that and all of these infant related deaths had been caused the 1, 2, or creeping into 3 month range, I can see that recall happening very quickly. But if it's happening after the 3 months and this company has put it down, I don't really know, or I don't really foresee them doing a recall. It's one of those things that I would imagine us as consumers, we have to vote with our wallets. We have to vote with our checkbook. And we have to vote that we don't want this kind of product around our children. We don't purchase it. We don't get it for people's baby showers. You don't register for it yourself. You just ignore it. Don't buy this product. If you really don't want this product or a product like this on the market, you have to not recommend, not purchase, not fund the continuation of companies developing products like this. So that would be one thing that I could say could be done. Whether or not a recall is going to happen is to be determined. The story broke around Monday, I want to say, and if nothing's happened yet, it's just can you? We strongly urge you recall this, and still there's been no move. But rather, their statement is, "We told you, don't use it after 3 months." I don't really see them recalling this. So these are things that I think we're all going to continue to experience over the years. There's going to be products that come out and it's like, oh, wow, that was really dangerous. And maybe our kids are going to be elementary school or middle school or who knows what age. And then we'll find out. And it's like, it's a roll of the dice. Life is such a fragile thing, such a precious thing. And so it was a hard sort of story to hear for myself. They were hard videos to watch when educating myself on what had just been shared via the news, and especially seeing the families. And I wouldn't wish that for anybody. I definitely wouldn't. And it's a spooky thought. It's a spooky thing to experience. So with that, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to listen. I want to thank you guys if you decide to share this knowledge or even just this podcast itself or YouTube video with other people so that they know and can educate themselves. Because sometimes all we do is just see what the shiniest and brightest thing is on the Toys R Us ad, or the Babies R Us or whatever. Both of those have gone out of business. I'm sorry, but on Target or on Amazon, we look for what is quote unquote the hottest item. And what's hottest may not necessarily be the safest. So I just encourage a sort of a communal education system here and just educate one another on your experiences, on what you've heard, on what you've seen. And as parents, absorb all of that. And again, as parents, you're all going to make the best decisions for your children, anyways. So, again, I'm not here to tell you how to parent. I'm just here to share my perspective, my story. And with that, I'll leave you guys with as always, till next time. See ya.